let's turn our attention to Minimax, where there are 4 drivers in competition for this year's title. Let's have a look at the starting grid. Vince van der Halle starts on pole position, and it's an all-Belgian front row. It's actually a Belgian top 3. Jeff Verbeek rounds out the front row. Matthijs Verreke in third. Rickert Joppe in fourth. Julian Dummer and James van der Poel round at the top 6. Dimitar Lazarov running in both classes, micro and mini. Will be joined by Liam Bestedo on row 4. Rounding out the top 10, Leon Harbos and Mick Klinkers. Olivier Mazurkiewicz and Jesse Andringa round out row 6 ahead of Milan Glaze. Klavs Hans from Latvia. Milano Shiphorst. Gage Moyes rounds out row 8. Lourdes van Vlaanderen, Tim Hansler, Mika Vonk, Stephen Wams, then Bendik Schulte, Matthias Clever, and Dide de Dale rounding out the order. So looking at the championship standings, taking into consideration the best 12 out of 14 scores so far, we have had 1 driver off circuit, and that was Klaus Hans, and that is a real shame for the youngster from Latvia. That is coming out of turn number 2. So taking into consideration the best 12 out of 14 scores so far, this is how the championship is looking. Vince van der Halle, 519 points, leads the way. Olivier Mazurkiewicz, double winner at Circuit Park Berchem back nearly a month ago. 510 points in second. Gage Moyes, who's pretty much effectively wrapped up the mini rookie title, rounds out the top 3 on 499. And the 4th driver, the 106, starting in 6th in this pre-final, James van der Poel on 477 points. Drivers now being instructed to slow down once again. So we're down to 22 runners and riders. So drivers, including Gage Moyes, will have to be very, very careful. If they are out of position on the start, they will be penalised. So there should be a gap where Klaus Hans is meant to be on the starting grid. So red lights on the gantry. They split out of the final corner. Lights are on. Lights are out. And the pre-final gets going. Good start by van der Halle. Verreke also trying to make it through as we've had a little bit of a moment. 2, 3 carts, one of which being the 151 of Liam Bestedo. Oh dear, the youngster who started 9th. The pre-final has gone south very, very quickly indeed. So that means Bestedo will not be taking any further part. There's a little coming together towards the back end of the field. Coming out of turn 7 off of the Europlan, so the elbows are out and sharpened already. We haven't really even gotten started with this pre-final. Some toing and throwing. Dive up the inside into turn number 10. I think that might have been Mika Vonk getting through. Towards the... as Matthias Clever has got someone... Well, I think Matthias Clever was making a move, but van der Halle leads the way. Dummer in second, Lazarov third. Verbeek, Mazurkiewicz has already jumped up 6 places to 5th. And Gage Moyes up 10 spots already and is now running in 6th position. Might even be... it's 5th now because he's got through on Mazurkiewicz for P5. So that is 5 places gained by Mazurkiewicz, 11 gained by Moyes. That's an interesting development there, folks. And now Jeff Verbeek has got Gage Moyes closing in. He's running on the Birolart. Through out of turn number 11 go the leaders, heading into the final corner as we are about to round turn 12 with its 1,360 metre clockwise circuit. Van der Halen leads. Dummer, 4.5 tenths behind. Moyes goes on the offensive and dives up the inside of Jeff Verbeek through into turn 2. That was poetry in motion from Gage Moyes, and that's 12 positions gained. So Liam Besteiro is unfortunately out. Moyes goes defensive into turn 6 as Verbeek tries to cut back and has to slot into the wheel tracks behind the 134. But Moyes nearly opened the door there at turn number 8. And Verbeek waiting to try and get through, but this is allowing Olivier Mazurkiewicz to start closing that gap again. Just behind them you've got Matthias Verreken, Leon Herboz and James Van der Poel, who round out the top 9 places. Van der Halen continues to lead the way after the opening 3 laps. We have got just under 7 minutes on the timer remaining, plus those all-important 2 additional laps. Verbeek and Moyes in battle mode right about now as they come through out of turn 3, into turn 4. Up the short chute into the left at 5. Hard on the brakes, turn it in nice and neat onto the apex at 6. And then, whilst carrying that momentum through, accelerate nicely and smoothly through onto the Europalan. But a good defensive bit of work here from Gage Moyes, as Jesse Andringa has dropped down 9 places from 12th on the grid and is currently running in 21st. The last of the runners and riders we still have out on the circuit. So Klaus Hans did not make the start. Liam Besteiro taken out, unfortunately, through an incident, maybe not of his making, at turn number 2. And Gage Moyes still battling away with Jeff Verbeek. A little bit of a scramble here. That includes the 199 of Didi Dadala, who started last and has just put it round the outside of Stephen Vams. There's the switchback attempt from Jeff Verbeek, and Gage Moyes is rubbing sidewalls heading into T7 and reasserts himself over Verbeek and gets the position back. Great work, great driving between those two. Racing hard, but fair and with driver respect in mind. Mazurkiewicz has got Matthias Verreken closing in, with Leon Herboz battling away over 8th place with James Van der Poel. Milano Shiphorse rounding at the top 10. Good work by Laurens van Vlaanderen in the number 170, who's now up 6 spots and completes the top 11. Stephen Vams, in the meantime, has unfortunately dropped down to 17th place. And gained a few places on the opening lap. But with 4.5 minutes still to go, plus an additional 2 laps of racing, Julian Dummer has got to start pushing, as a look by Matthias Verreken up the inside of Olivier Mazurkiewicz bears no fruit from it. And there is Leon Herboz and James Van der Poel making it a quartet, battling over 6th position. Van der Halen continues to lead. Gage Moyes again overtaken by Jeff Verbeek, this time through the final corner. And Moyes tries for the switchback here through into turns to... Oh, no. That was a little coming together, a little incident between Matthias Verreken and also Leon Herboz heading into turn number 2 here on lap 7. Van der Halen, in the meantime, has tried to pull away from Julian Dummer. Here's a 3-way scrap. They've just got past a slower cart, I believe. And who is that? That's the 104 I've just spotted of Mick Klinkers. Running in, looks to be 11th place. So that will be Leon Herboz just ahead. And in that mix, you've also got Milano Shiphorse, Laurens van Vlaanderen and Mika Vonk. 3 minutes to go And still the battles wage on. Oh, moment there for the 104 of Clinkers. Van der Poel now 7th, but Aiken down into 13th. Herbos holding on to 9th, but in the meantime, Julian Dummer from Germany running on the Charles Leclerc by Birlart chassis. 125 is closing getting ever closer to the rear bumper of one Vince van der Hollen. Gap between them last time around after 7 laps of racing was just shy of 2.5 tenths of a second. And Dimitar Lazarov running double duty. One of 2 drivers I know of that are doing so, which includes Jaden Teen, who is running seniors and KZ2 this weekend. Two out of 177 drivers. It was 178 until I found out this morning, but for very good reason, and I'll go into that a little bit later on during the live stream coverage. But there is a great battle. James van der Poel and Olivier Mazurkiewicz. This is for 6th place on the road. They come out of turn 6. The Sodi kart for van der Poel has a little bit more waft behind it because of the slipstream being provided by Mazurkiewicz, who holds on to the racing line through out of turn 8, now into the left at turn 9. So there has been a 3-second time penalty given to the 1-3-4 of Gage Moyes, and that is a circumvention of the start procedure. Looks to be 1 or 2 wheels outside of the tram lines. So now we head on to lap number 10, and with the drivers running on a 59.7 at the front end of the field, we will have probably this and another 2 laps to go. Mazurkiewicz and Van der Poel still battling away over 6th place. But this will then become the battle for 5th place because of Gage Moyes. And on the road, that effectively puts Moyes down to 7th place. Van der Poel, however, is not giving up without a fight. I'm sure that Olivier Mazurkiewicz might be saying to Van der Poel, okay, work with me. But now we will have 2 laps remaining. So we head on to lap number 11 out of 12. And Julian Dummer has not closed that gap over the last couple of laps. It is around about 2.5 tenths of a second, but he gets a bit closer through out of turn number 2. Does the youngster from Germany. What a show from Dimitar Lazarov. Just picking up the win in the Micromax pre-final just a moment ago, and has ended up going through into Minimax. I remember when Denny Babacek from the TEPS racing team, this year's Minimax Grand Finals champion, first out of the Babichkova family to do so, has done Micro Mini in the same weekend. I think it was a couple of years ago, if I'm honest with you, if memory serves me correctly. But last lap now getting underway here. And that is being led by Vince van der Halle. Julian Dummer still about 2.5 tenths of a second. Bumps over the curbing through into turn number 1, heading into turn 2. Now halfway through the triple left. And now into turn 5. So 3, 4 and 5. 3 successive left-hand corners. Now, can Dummer get the opportunity and close in on the back bumper of Van der Halle before it's too late? Into turn 7, now into 8. Now the drivers head down towards turn number 10. One more corner remains after this. And from lights out to checkered flag, back to winning ways, it's Vince van der Halle who on home soil at karting Genk takes the checkered and wins by just under 2/10 from Julian Dummer. Dimitar Lazarov takes third ahead of Jeff Verbeek. Gaze Moyes will finish on the road in fifth and get demoted to seventh because of the 3-second time penalty for the start procedure infraction, promoting James van der Poel and Olivier Mazurkiewicz to fifth and sixth respectively. Milano Shiphorst, Leon Herbols and Mika Vonk round out the top 10. Mick Klinkers, Rickard Job, Didi Dardale, Lawrence van Vlaanderen, Tim Hansler, Steven Vams, Milan Claes, Matthias Clever, Jesse Andringa and Bendik Schulte round out the 20 that finished. Unfortunately, lap 6, we lost Matthias Verreke, Liam Bastero on the opening lap and Klaus Hans not making the start.